Good day and welcome to another episode of In the Spotlight. I'm Superintendent Michael Richard, and today I'm very pleased to be joined by two student leaders from West Springfield High School. I'm joined by sophomore Jordan LaValley and senior Richard Darkwa. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
All right, absolutely. So we're going to get you going with some easy questions. We're going to build up to some more challenging ones. But just to get started, why don't you tell the audience at home a little bit about yourselves, what you do, what your activities are that you're involved in here at the high school, and Richard, why don't you lead off?
All right, so I'm Richard Darkwa. I'm a senior here, like you said. In student government, I play volleyball and I run track. I'm in Key Club, and I'm a West Side student ambassador with the athletic program.
Very cool. And Jordan?
I'm Jordan LaValley. I'm a sophomore. I play 3 sports: field hockey, indoor track, and lacrosse. I'm in student government, and I'm also a student ambassador.
You guys are pretty active here in the West Springfield High School community for sure, but both of you mentioned being ambassadors to the athletic program through the MIAA, and you both participated in a leadership institute this past summer. And Richard, I think this was your second year.
I did it 2 years
your
ago.
third year, okay, your second time, right?
Yeah. No, I only
third
went
year.
once last year.
All right, so going through this program, but tell me about that experience. You come together with students from across the state, and you talk about how to be active student leaders and ambassadors to athletic programs. So tell me a little bit about the experience, how you got involved, why you got involved, and what your takeaways were. Jordan, you're first.
So I thought it was a really great experience being able to go and talk to people from all of our state and stuff. And it was really cool being able to get involved with all the different community service activities that they had us do and participate in. And it was just a really humbling experience being able to do these things and become a better leader. And they had all these almost shows in the morning where they'd have speakers who are leaders in our real world come and talk about their experiences and how they became a leader and how they improve people's lives and help people. And I just thought it was a really great experience, and now I've learned so much more about being a leader, and I can turn these skills into something I use in my everyday life.
Very cool. Richard, I saw you nodding in agreement when Jordan was talking about the community service aspect. So tell me about some of the projects that you guys worked on while at the Institute.
The year I went, we split up into different groups and we did different community service projects. My group, we went to a local preschool down the street, and we cleaned up their little play area. So we took out all the weeds, put in mulch, all that stuff. So that was really fun. Some of the other groups, they cleaned the streets of Worcester. They put service packages together for veterans. So I think, like she said, it's really humbling, and it's just something really good that you should do to serve your community. So that's one of the values that they instill at the conference.
Sure. And you've been selected to be a leader of that group. Richard, tell me a little bit more about that.
So at the conference, they, They give the opportunity to juniors and seniors, rising juniors and seniors, to serve on their student advisory committee. And so I was going into junior year, so I decided to apply for it. I was a bit nervous at first. I drove down to the MIA office in Franklin and interviewed for the position, and luckily I got it. So on that, we give feedback to their educational athletics committee about the offerings of the MIA, and we give them updates on what we as a committee plan on doing for the year. And we also go to leadership workshops and captains workshops and facilitate discussions between athletes and coaches about whatever may be during that day. So it's really cool. I get to go there once a month. I drive by myself, so that's interesting. But yeah, I really enjoy it. So I did it last year. I'm on it again this year. And in between, they gave me the opportunity with 4 other people on the committee to go to Indiana for their National Student Leadership Summit. So that was an amazing experience.
Wow, tell me a little bit more about that. So these are students from all over the country coming together in Indiana. I think it was in Indianapolis, wasn't it? And what did you guys focus on there? Did you share experiences, or did you do any type of group planning?
So the first thing when we got there, we were meeting everyone. Everyone wanted to know what our name was, where we're from, and what sports we play. And while we were in our groups, it was kind of they say train the trainer. So the students and the adult ambassadors, they kind of learn from each other. So one of the major things that I took away from that is diversity and inclusion. They said, and what I learned was, diversity is really good to have, but it's better to be more inclusive than diverse. If you're diverse, it's just, oh, we have everyone of different types here, but being inclusive obviously is, working together with everyone that may be different from you. So
That's a great message, and I think it aligns nicely with the message that we've supported here in West Springfield of we are one, and we are one community working together. So Jordan, you talked about some of the skills and lessons that you learned at the Institute. How do you want to bring those back to West Springfield to really improve our high school community and our community at large?
Well, I feel like being a student ambassador and being somebody who's in student government, I need like those leadership skills. So being able to go and learn a lot of those skills from other people who have those skills is a really good thing to have, and I can turn those around and like bring leadership into our high school and like get people more involved for other people to become leaders too, not just have it be certain individuals, because like everybody needs to get involved together so that
Absolutely.
we can have like a cohesive school.
Sure, and you're going to lead by example, and you're going to model all of those things. But
Yeah.
do you have specific ideas, Richard, about things that West Springfield can do, again, to improve how we operate here? Because while I think we're a great place, always room for improvement.
yeah, so like Jordan said, like we have to lead by example, and one of the main things that I took away from there is that leadership is influence. And so being student leaders here at the school, something I think we could work on is like having more school spirit and having everyone get involved in extracurriculars and other activities, because in my opinion, it's one of the most important parts of high school. So if people aren't getting involved, it's kind of like they're missing out, and as a result of that, everyone else is missing out because it's not cohesive.
Absolutely. It's the full experience of high school for sure.
Yeah.
So, for you, Richard, this is your last year here in West Springfield. Jordan, you still got a couple of more, so
Yeah.
we're glad to have you. But think about after West Springfield High School and what are your plans? And Richard, I'm going to start with you because it's much closer for you. You're in the planning stages right now.
Yeah, I was filling out some of my applications last night, but I want to go into chemistry. I don't know what school yet, but that's my goal. And going along with the leadership stuff we're talking about here, the stuff I've learned in high school is definitely going to translate into college. So wherever I go, I'm sure that I'll be a leader and lead by example.
Very good, very good. And Jordan, how about you? You still, you haven't even finished your MCAS requirements.
Yeah.
But I know that you're a visionary and you're thinking ahead. And so what would you like to do after West Springfield
I'm
High
not
School?
like completely sure exactly like what path I want to take, but I definitely know I want to do something where I can be in a leading position and be like somebody who like can help other people and stuff. And I've thought of maybe doing like something in education, but like I said, I'm not completely sure what my exact path is going to be.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet, but you've got time to figure that out. So I want to circle back to you for a second, Richard, on your comment about chemistry. Tell me about your influence on that decision. When did that start? How did it start? Who played a role in you thinking that chemistry is going to be a part of your future?
Well, I originally wanted to be going into biology during freshman year, and then sophomore year I took chemistry with Miss Toy, and I was like, well, maybe I want to do this. So I was kind of torn between the two. And then I took her again the next year for AP chemistry, and I was like, that is what I want to do. But I wasn't really sure yet. I wanted to do biochemistry since it was like a mix of both. But actually, like a week ago, I was like, maybe I don't want to do that. So now I'm just chemistry. Yeah.
You just gave me flashbacks to balancing equations from my sophomore year of high school, and I'm not sure that I'm going to survive this now. Jordan, you want to be in an influential position. You want to be a leader.
Yeah.
So that's something that's natural inside of somebody, right? It's difficult to train to be a leader, so you've got some skills already. How does that correlate on the athletic field? So whether it's field hockey or indoor track or lacrosse?
I feel like it's important to have somebody to look to, especially last year being a freshman. It was really important for me to be able to look to a captain who is a leader or just somebody on the field who is telling you like what to do and giving you like encouragement. and like helping you out on the field. I feel like that's really important in sports. And now, like to freshmen now, I feel like I can help them to say like, oh, you need to be here, or like, oh, keep going, like if you mess up. Like you need somebody who is like bringing up spirits and just keeping like everybody positive on the field. Because when you're in a negative environment, things just don't work well. So when you have a good positive leader on the field, like our captains, or really anybody who's being positive, I feel like that's really important, and it keeps the team working cohesively and together.
I think you guys are both hitting on some important points about being not just student leaders, but being good students, and that is that trying and giving it your best effort and dedicating yourself to something is far more important than being expert at it. So I appreciate that from both of you. So the questions maybe got progressively harder, but then they get really hard, right? So every session of In the Spotlight gets wrapped up with the question of who would you like to see featured in the Spotlight. So I don't know whether you've had time to think about this, whether you were truly aware that this question was coming, but talk to me between the two of you. Maybe there's one or two people that you could think of that you'd like to see featured.
Let me think about it for a second. Who would I? Okay, officer-wise.
Officer-wise. Why?
He's just he's a character, to put it lightly.
All right.
I see him every day. He's
Yeah.
just a great guy to talk to, catch up with, and even though like sometimes he annoys me, but it's all right.
Like
'cause it's
making sure you've got a parking pass on
Of
your car.
course, I've still got to get that in.
there you
Officer-wise,
go.
I will get that parking pass in. So, yeah.
All right. Jordan, how about you?
I agree with Richard. I think that Officer Wise would be a good person to have on this show. He definitely would be interesting to talk to and have something to say.
Oh, for sure. We know that's
Oh, yeah.
the case. That's the case. Good. Well, a special thanks to Jordan LaValley, a sophomore here at West Springfield High School, and Richard Darkwa, a senior here at the high school, for their time answering the questions here in the Spotlight. I look forward to seeing you again in a segment real soon.